A lot of people have been asking for a updated guide on both movement or just general mechanics as well. So that's why I'm making this video. If you have any questions, just join the Discord in the description as well. And feel free to ask anything or receive free coaching. The first category is crosshair placement, and it is probably the most important part of the entire game. Brains won't make up for bad crosshair placement. Aim, in most cases, wouldn't make up for crosshair placement, right? So it's really important to have good crosshair placement in this game. The first thing you need to do to even have a chance of having good crosshair placement is just aiming at head level. Aiming at where the enemy's head will be is the number one step. If you aren't aiming on the head, you're aiming at the body, and if you're aiming at the body, you're just aiming wrong. There's no point of going for body shots unless they're 1 HP, and let's be real, most of the kills you get aren't going to be on people that are 1 HP, right? That's why it's important to always aim at head level. For example, I'll take this first example for peeking angles. In general, pre-aiming is just aiming where the enemies are holding you. So in this case, I'm aiming right here. That's where a player is gonna be. I'm aiming there before I'm peeking the angle. I'm not going like this. I'm not peeking like this, like around here. That's not gonna work, right? Because then you're either way aiming in the middle, or you're not aiming, but you're moving your mouse in the middle of the peak, which isn't really optimal at all. What you should do instead is just already have your crosshair there, peek out like this, be ready to shoot instantly. If there's an off player right there, you need to go out quick. And another part is just general pre-aiming on all angles, including off angles. Off angles are really important to clear. So all these places are places where enemies can be, right? Where I'm clearing in case there's people there. Some people play out here because it's just so unexpected. And what a lot of people in almost every rank do is they peek out here, fine, and then they just walk out. They just start running after this is clear, thinking that's clear, and then there's a guy standing there with an off and you're dead. So just be careful clearing off angles as well. And then like this, clearing here, right? Clearing logs, clearing market, stairs, CT, CT again, stairs, switch, right? Lane, all that kind of stuff. Just focus on trying to clear a site very thoroughly instead of just rushing it. So realistically, this is how many angles I'm clearing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. But I'm not taking my time that much. I'm going like this, right? Going quick, going quick. Obviously, I'm not pulling my knife out in game, but I'm going way quicker than what I otherwise show, right? It's not a perfect clear all the time, right? I'm going really fast, so there's gonna be a few mistakes. But you simply, most of the time, don't have time to clear that slowly, right? But if you're playing slow, if you're sentinel or anything, right? You can just take your time. There's no need to rush, right? But sometimes you just need to be a bit faster. But it's still important to clear every angle. Another important thing is knowing when you should be pre-aiming and when you should be tracing an angle. The difference between those is this right here. That's pre-aiming. This is pre-aiming. Tracing is this. That's tracing. That's going slowly around the corner. And the only times you use tracing is either when you're, for example, peeking out here, right? And you know they can't be there, right? But you know there might be a guy over here in the corner, right? Peeking out here and you're tracing like this. This is when you're tracing, when you're further away from the angle than he is, because for him, he can see off this dot, right? For you, you can see the enemy here. This enemy is not able to see you, but you're able to see them, and that's why you should trace, because right here, I would see him, right? Now that I've traced, I either continue to trace into the kill, or I just put my crosshair there, shoot him in the head. That's when you should trace. Otherwise, always pre-fire. When you're the one closer to the angle as well, if I'm this close, I'm not gonna trace. I'm not gonna go like this. This is stupid. This is a death sentence. I'm pre-aiming, right? The next part is more for defense, and it's the way you're holding your angles. For example, on A main, I'm holding here, right? The enemy is gonna either peek far back here or close here, and I need to make a decision. Do I want to aim for the guy who's furthest away or for the guy who's closest, right? What I usually do is I hold here. It's kind of a good balance between both. But what I see a lot of people in my rank do is they hold here. If you imagine someone peeking out there, how in the world will you react in time to kill them without moving your crosshair? By the time you see their head, you're not going to get a kill by tapping. You're going to be forced to move away, flick onto their head, right? What's the point of holding there if you're just going to flick away from the angle, right? That's why you just hold wide either way. And when they swing out, you can get the kill. Let them walk into the crosshair. Another example can, for example, be here, where I'm holding this wide, because usually in these situations, they are going fast, right? If they're splitting A, and I'm hearing them step down here, I'm holding sometimes even this far out. It looks crazy, but it's not even that crazy, because people are going to be running out here, full out with a Vandal in their hand. No sneak, no jiggle peek, nothing. They're not going to jump peek either, they're just going to go fast, right? I'm holding this far because they're going to swing the hell out of me. If they're going to swing the hell out of me, then I need to aim for the swing. And that's going to be around right here. That's going to be the perfect area to hold, so that when they swing out, I just have to click once, right? For situations where you know there's someone lurking, holding close like this might work better, right? Because they're going to come out pretty slowly, although they could hard clear you. And that's why it's important to sometimes abuse off angles. If I'm standing, for example, here, this angle is not common to get clear, right? I'm pushing in here, I'm lurking slowly, right? Maybe I actually see that angle. I'm not. Yeah, I do. So maybe not right there, but let's say I'm standing right there. I'm clearing like this, right? And then I'm getting ready to clear sight. I'm holding here. There's gonna be guys standing here, which would be you. And holding close here is actually advantageous because he's gonna go slowly up first in order to prepare for the peak, right? So he's gonna be standing right here. You're gonna see a little part of his shoulder, and you're just gonna have to tap him, right? Another important thing is, for example, if somebody is over here and you know they're jiggle peeking you, or you're standing right here, they just saw you and you know they're about to peek. Sometimes swinging or holding wide is the worst thing you can do, right? Because for me especially, if I know there's a player there, I'm not gonna swing him. I'm gonna go like this. I'm gonna try to get a kill this way. Right, being very annoying. But always trying to get that one tap, right? And that's why I'm always doing short peeks in that situation, because there's no point of swinging wide. And that's why sometimes you need to hold short, but most of the time if I'm holding B, first off, I'm never holding this angle on B main, it's death sentence. Let's say I'm pushing a bit further out, I'm holding this way, right? This is holding extremely wide because they're going to be running here. If they know exactly where I am, if I get one, right? I'm going to go back and I'm playing way closer with my crosshair because they're going to be way more careful on trading. They're going to go like this, right? And that's why it's important to hold close. So always think if they're swinging, hold wide. Otherwise, you're able to hold slightly closer, but never hold into the angle or like this. This is the furthest away from the angle, not the closest to the angle that you should ever be. You should never be closer than this. Even possibly this, never closer than this. Out here is ideal. The next category is movement, and that's going to be strafing, bursting, jump peeking, and jiggle peeking. I'll first go over the peeking methods because those might just be the easiest things to learn ever. Jump peeking, it's as simple as just kind of like you're going in a circle, right? Super easy. You're just going in a circle with the keyboard. Really easy to jump peek. What you can do alternatively, what I see a lot of people do, is they peek like this. But I find that to be a lot worse. Simply because it just gives you way less info. It does give you the same minimap info, but peeking like this, it's very hard to tell what agent you just saw there. Versus if you're peeking like this, then you're able to hold your eyes on the same position, and you'll be able to see who it is, possibly how many there are. Otherwise the minimap is just gonna give you question marks, right? Jiggle peeking, super easy, it's just this. This is jiggle peeking, there's nothing more to it than this. I recommend not jiggle peeking that often. It's kind of risky. I would just jiggle peek like this. What I see a lot of people also do is they jiggle peek very close, but that's just stupid. In an angle like this, I would just jiggle peek at the furthest angle, right? Another small thing on Ascent is this angle to peek. Down is pretty chill. You can see their heads there. And it's a very safe peek in general. But that's only for Ascent, obviously. Now onto the actual movement. When you're taking fights, what I see a lot of people do, especially in the ranks like Iron up until honestly Ascendant, is they're spraying all the time. Every single second they can get, they're spraying. If they see a guy there, they're going like this instantly. And it's a huge issue that I'm seeing in all ranks, right? I've coached people that have habits of just instant crouching and spraying the moment they see enemies. But on longer distances where they're forced to take slower fights, they're peeking like this. They're shooting this way, right? It's a lot better to shoot that way, but they're not doing it in close range, and that's a big problem. A lot of people think they can spray in medium to close range. Close range, sure, maybe, but this range, you should never spray. So the first thing I would do is try to practice never spraying. But it kind of comes also as a side effect of focusing on bursting, right? Always try to get 2 to 3 bullets in between each strafe. Practicing that every day. If you go into my Discord, there's also a deathmatch routine that purely focuses on peeking angles, holding angles, and strafing, and also helps to eliminate the insta spraying. But after that, it's extremely important to focus on strafing. Just going left and right. Sometimes you can throw in a crash, but I don't recommend that for anyone below immortal. It's just not worth focusing on because it will slightly throw off your crosshair, and you need to kind of have a lot more synergy or like a lot more comfortable mechanics before you should start doing that. But if you're anywhere below mortal and you're having these issues, just focus on strafing this way. 2 bullets in between every strafe. Hop in a deathmatch, do it all the time. 3 deathmatches before you start the game, right? Or just look at the deathmatch routine that is in my description. And that way you can easily improve over a very short time, right? I'll show some clips showing generally how important the strafing is, as well as the way I'm peeking angles and all that. And just take notes of that. Look how I play those situations, how I'm aiming my crosshair, and generally my movement and mechanics throughout the entire clip. Other than that, I hope you learned something. And remember, if you need coaching, just join the Discord, it's free. And yeah, enjoy the clips.
Right, he crossed the smoke, one is elbows.
I see it.
Last player standing. Spike down A. One enemy remaining.
Oh my
Wow.
One enemy remaining. Spike down A.